20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did.
Welcome to the 10th episode of the School of Athens. We got our second guest, Nick Setting.
Quinton.
Welcome, my
Pleasure,
man.
bro. Pleasure, bro.
Super
Right. Good to be
exciting.
here.
As you guys can see, we are in this beautiful location at the Palms at Nick's client retreat. We are in Dubai, right? Correct?
The Palm Jumeirah Dubai. Behind the, what is it called? The Atlantis Royale. So it's
Bro,
absolutely
this is
sick.
So beautiful. There's like Lego blocks here, and we've got like a ocean at the back, like
Private
literally
access beach.
walking onto the beach. So yeah, extremely grateful to be here and to present this this episode with Nick today. And yeah, we don't really have a really like a topic to speak about. We just spoke about the matrix within the matrix. Breaking through the ideal or like the initial matrix just ends you up in
A new
another
matrix.
matrix. A matrix.
That's
So-
where the best topics really come from. It's just chatting with no agenda.
Yeah.
It's just talking, and then something pops up, and like, oh, I agree with that, and then from there it just flows. So
We were
that's
kind of sad we didn't record a conversation just yet, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's such a great conversation.
Yeah.
So
And I think actually that's actually a good place to start, So what is the embodiment of breaking out of the matrix? What does that even
when
mean?
people say that, like,
Yeah,
people
what
say,
if-
oh, I want to break out of the matrix, you
Yeah.
know? What
it's
if that's
it's getting out of an environment that is supposed to be normal, in my opinion. Like people have certain standards, and I feel like everybody is in a certain situation in a certain environment, and it's special for people to break out of there. Do you know what I mean? It's like a I don't even know how to call it.
It's like limiting. It's like almost.
It's like a limited
invisible
situation.
invisible
Yeah,
barriers
yeah, exactly.
Keeping people stuck.
Yeah.
It is literally invisible because it's your limiting beliefs most of the time,
Yeah.
and that just keeps people stuck. And if you can break out of that, it's just such a good feeling.
I think,
Absolutely.
I think a good way to sum that up is like the matrix is an umbrella term for the idea of these collective beliefs that is holding the normal person back. It's like, oh, like you can't really make money online, or making $2,000 a month is good money. It's like you are, before you even get to start the journey of breaking through that, your current how should I say, your immediate environment is already reinforcing the limiting beliefs of the current version you want to escape. And that's what the matrix is. And you need to break free from that
To get into
limiting
the new
beliefs,
matrix.
to get into the new matrix. But it's a better matrix. I would rather be in this matrix than in the other one,
I think to start off with, Nick, like, how did you essentially break out of it? Like what was your the initial moment that sparked? Maybe it wasn't like a one big thing, just collective things like.
The first moment for me was awareness, right? I was aware about that what I was doing. Like I was basically not using my full potential, and I knew I could do more. So that is when I made the realization where I was like, yo, listen, I gotta switch things up to be able to like get more things, because I wanted everything that other people had, because I didn't have that specific thing. And I saw, like nowadays with Instagram, with YouTube, you can do your own research on a lot of things to discover a lot of new things, to like, go watch YouTube videos, go watch fucking reels, to just get yourself into a new state, observe a lot of dopamine to like realize like, yo, I want this, I want to do this, and then ultimately you have to take action to get there. But awareness was the first thing for me.
That's also what I mentioned on my previous podcast with Kian, our previous one. Is like, I think, Quinton, you asked, what's the number one thing, you should do if you are starting out and you want to, quote unquote, escape the matrix? I said, expose yourself to what is possible.
Yeah.
Essentially what you like, become aware of what is possible, and that pain will drive you to
Exactly.
achieve more.
Yeah, when you become aware about what is possible, you realize like, fuck, I'm in a bad spot right now.
Yeah.
Right? And you compare it. People compare. People
Yeah.
compare a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then when you have the ability to compare yourself to other things, it's like, yo, if I can get this and I'm here right now, I need to get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then pain becomes a big thing.
Yeah.
And people don't like pain. People want to solve pain.
Yeah.
Right? That's what we do on sales calls. That's what we do in fucking, we solve pain points. So then you just
it comes
you wanna get
down
there.
to that for sure, because even like and this is something I also do believe, and this also comes back to what we said previously, I believe like the two things you really need initially is you need a goal, something to work towards, and then the belief that it's possible in the first place. And you can't really set the ideal version of yourself as a goal if you don't know what is possible out there. Like if you're just surrounded by normal 9 to 5, making $2,000 a month, like you know, like that is your reality, because it's the collective beliefs of the people around you. And then you see these people on social media, like these young guys traveling the world, and it's like you already don't associate with that. You're like, oh no, it's not possible. It's like these overseas, like American guys or whatever that can do it. It's like, you know, those beliefs, like that's what it is. Like that, what you're thinking about, like that is holding you back. That's the main thing. And then you need to try and convince yourself that it's possible. And you can do that by removing friction, by surrounding yourself with people that is doing it, you know?
Exactly.
And that is a big thing with like this networking thing. And that's something that I realized as well. We went to the first kind of retreat at
Greece.
At Greece. That changed a lot for me, you know, because then I was in direct association with the ideal version of myself, the potential.
Absolutely.
And that is so valuable, you know. I mean, you can also, like, you traveled the world in the past. Actually, give a bit of your backstory, because we actually spoke about this. You started your business quite recently, and you are probably the ideal version of where we want to be, you know, in the next year or so. You've been traveling the world.
I started in 2023, January. We were just talking about that, right? I was starting back then. I understood the importance of turning information into action, because I was procrastinating a lot.
Really?
So like I never knew when to turn like the information that I had into action. That's so difficult to know when you don't have a mentor that guides you, or whenever you don't have, you know, like people that guide you into the right direction. So I realized, okay, listen, I got to turn things into action. So I did things, and after that process, I started to see results. So I started traveling the world. I did appointment setting, and then ultimately I just built up my company. I went from a done for you or for doing things for people to a done with you service, towards like after every single month. I just build it up slowly. But the main thing, what I would say is like the most valuable lesson that I have learned is knowing when you need information and the moment you need to turn that into action. What I do is when I travel a lot, I make a lot of new friends. I get a lot of new information, and then I do that for 2-3 months until my bucket is full. And then I go lock in for 3 months somewhere in a spot, and I integrate everything into my system, into my business, into my personal life. And that is what I think is called, like, you have a building phase, and you have a phase where you just like observe a lot of information, a learning phase. And I think that's valuable.
I think at the start, consumption is so important. People look down upon that.
So true.
It's like usually like the first year or so. You also don't want to extend that forever, you know, like 5 years of consumption. That's where you need to know the ratio between consumption and implementation.
Yes.
And I did like a year of consumption, just watching YouTube videos, exposing myself to what is possible. And that also rewires faulty beliefs.
Yes.
You know, that's what consumption really does. If you complete, like the repetition becomes, there's like a quote or something, but like repetition becomes like your new reality. If you repeat it every single day, you'll start to believe it, and you're like, wow, I can do this. And what was your point of like, where you realized that it was possible, like that belief in you, like I can actually do this? Like, where did that come from? Or did it even, like, was it innate thing, or did it come from outside?
Like, I have to be very honest. I feel like when I wanted to achieve something, I always thought I was like if I saw a person that had something that I wanted, I thought like, okay, if he can do it, I can do it.
That's just like Andro.
And from that point, I was like, yo, if he can do it, I can do the exact same thing.
There's actually a step above that, man.
And
like
that is
Elon Musk one. It's like, no one is doing it, I will be the first.
Exactly.
That's like a completely different mindset. But the one below that is like, if he can do it, it's within reach. You know? But the step above that is like, that's like the Elon Musk. No one's been to Mars. Obviously, it's gonna be me. It's gonna, you know, that's the
like you don't see obstacles in the way. Like every single thing I built, I don't see obstacles. I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I'll make it work. No matter if it's gonna take a year. No matter if it's gonna take 3 years, 5 years.
And do you think people should set like timelines for their goals, or because that can create urgency in the shorter term, but also when you don't, you know, when you're like, let's say you want to make 10K a month, and like, I want to do it by December, right? And it's like 3 months. And like, let's say it's 1 month left, you're at 2K, now you start doing dumb shit. Because like
I agree, but I think the goal doesn't create any urgency, it's the pain. It's about how big is your pain? How bad do you want to achieve your outcome? And that like shorten the duration of you achieving success. Like, I needed money because my parents were like, you know, my mother didn't have any money. My father was good, but they're divorced. So I was like, I need to make sure I make this work now. I don't care how, I need to make this work fast. So I had a big pain. and I could turn that into action fast, so I could get a result fast. If your pain is different, or you don't need it that fast, then then the goal doesn't matter, you know, like, because a goal is, I think, just the perception of what you want. It's like you want to achieve a goal, but like, yes, exactly, and that could be anything, and it always switches all the time as well. I feel a pain always, it adapts and changes as well, but it's mainly always a big pain that you have from whether you're starting out. You still have that 5 years ago, 5 years later, if you haven't solved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like whenever you wanna help or you wanna support people financially, it's like that's your goal right now, and then you're gonna do that until you have fulfilled that. If that makes sense.
So, I think this is a good question, and I because we speak a lot about like the start of any journey or like odyssey or like pursuit forward starts from a place of pain or lack or discomfort or whatever, but there's also a lot of people that have pain, but that is exactly the reason why they actually fall off and like not even start, you know, like they have pain and don't have any money, but they're like, then they go depressed or become an alcoholic or whatever. Obviously we use the pain and directed that and transmuted that into a positive direction. So what do you guys think? How did we even do that? Like, you understand what I'm saying?
It's like energy can't be created or destroyed.
It can only be transmuted. But like, if the goal is to only increase pain, like there's a lot of people have a lot of pain that just hasn't made it work yet. So like, how do you go about transmuting that pain into a good, positive direction and use it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You mean like you're trying to achieve the goal, so you solve the pain in like in an ethical way, or is that not what you mean?
Not even like that. It's more a question of like, you are experiencing pain right now. Like, let's say, for example, you're in a financial situation, you need to provide for your family. How did you go about deciding to take on that and burden that responsibility, and instead of just, I don't know, smoking weed and playing video games? Because you still experience that pain. There's a lot more people choosing the easy way out than burdening the responsibility. Do you think there was a sense of, what do you think? You can also maybe answer.
I love my mom so much. So I was like, I need to. She's not going to be able to do it. She doesn't have the ability, the resources, the time to. She doesn't have the awareness to, right? She doesn't have awareness at all about that you can make money online. She couldn't solve that problem herself. And I think, like, I love her so much, and whenever she cannot solve it herself, I'm the one that needs to take the responsibility to solve that problem.
There was no deciding. It was just like
it's just you do it. It's obviously.
But what I'm trying to say is, it's actually coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
Of course, because that's the most valuable. That is the and biggest pain for people.
Pain.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
now I get it.
You would jump into the water to save your wife, your kid, and your mom and your father, your family. You know, like that is just like you don't even think about it. So love is a very interesting topic.
It's that duality again. It's like you want to bring love, and then through that you do the opposite, which is suffering. I also said on the previous one. You're always going to experience suffering, always. It's
all the time.
100% going to be there, right? But
which one
would you rather do it now, like the first 3 years? Or, and then peace with your family for 70 years?
Yes.
Or would you rather have a peaceful, like joy life now, just do whatever, play video games, just chill, and then have a stressful 70 years with your family?
But even though, I have to agree, but even I think our first I'm measuring, like, we're just like, using hand word, but basically, like, it's like you gotta realize this. We think we have pain for the upcoming 5 years, and then we make a lot of money and we are there, and like the rest of the 70 years will be chill. I still think we will have pain for the rest of our lives. No matter if you're in a good situation or a bad situation, the mindset that we have always allows us to optimize, to become better and look for pain, to solve more. We will never be satisfied. Like, I'm always saying, like, okay, let's say I'm 25 and I can retire at that point. Oh yeah, I'm gonna chill. No, I want to build a new business. I want more pain and I want better things. So we will never have that.
Do you think that's a skill issue? Do you think that's something we should work on?
Skill issue?
I don't think now. I think you should just, prioritize for as much pain as possible in your 20s. And then from there.
But the reason why.
What is from there? What is that goal? Because 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what I think you become the most valuable, not when you achieve the most, but when you learn the most. And I think when you learn the most, the chances that you will achieve more is fairly high. But I think when you learn as much as you can from other people, from experiences, from environments, from, everything, you'll become very valuable and skilled.
So you
instead
say
of instead of attaching that to a specific outcome. You
it's
like
a lack of knowledge.
like for example, right? Like we make good money.
That's good.
You can optimize for the fact of making more money. Like it's very simple. I can optimize for the fact of scaling to whatever 300K a month, 500K a month now, and to make whatever, to make way more money than I do right now. But I can also optimize for the fact of learning a new skill that I don't know anything about. That is not going to give me that return on investment directly, I can do what I already know and make more within that, or learn new skills. And I think if I learn new skills as well, that in like 5 years.
It probably all just comes down to what is your actual goal? What is the ideal version of yourself? Because if you're optimizing for a life of freedom, you don't really need a lot of money. And then you come to a point where I think there's a lot of diminishing returns with building an exceptionally big business if you are looking for freedom. But if you are extremely passionate about, because I think, and I also think that's why it's so important to operate out of a place of abundance, because you've already checked the financial box. Like let's say you make enough money to do whatever you want to do, then you can literally, because I promise you, like my goal is not to what is aftree in English? Retire. That's bullshit. Like when you retire, you die. You just get old and like you have no purpose. You want to feel needed, and you want to have something to devote your life to that's purposeful. And you can only do that by operating out of a place of abundance. You have finances, so you don't need to worry about only doing something to get more financial or to be financially incentivized to do so. And then, with time, you're probably gonna exceptional amount of wealth is gonna come with that as a byproduct. Like building the community right now, that is extremely passionate project for me and Andro. And with time, I promise you, this is going to be massive financially for us as well, But it's because it's so purposeful, and because we're operating a place of abundance, we are able to look long-term at this project, and we're probably just going to work even harder on it because we enjoy it.
Yo, it's the thing where you said yesterday, I was like, yo, that is it. That's it.
That is it.
I was like, what would you do if you had all the money in the world and go do that? And that is it, because with that you'll make more money.
Yeah, that is good.
Then you also, because you love to work at it, you'll work at it 12 hours a day, you'll do it on weekends because you just love to do it, and it's just by working more, you'll achieve.
What I always realize is a very interesting thing. I realized it yesterday actually. I always want to make more money, and the reason why I want to make more money is to do the things that I like, or to have freedom, to go on a yacht day, go rent cars sometimes, or also do fulfilling things like traveling the world, meeting other people. But the moment I'm in these actual experiences, I want to go back to work and make more money.
that is
fuck this shit. Like, this is an unlimited cycle. I'm in the second matrix.
That is how to describe the second matrix. Is exactly what Nick just said.
But that's a pretty cool matrix in my opinion.
But I think it's also part of the masculine cycle and pursuit.
Yes, it is.
It's always just like it's goal orientated. It's like if you compare like women and men, for example, like if you read The Way of the Superior Man, like this describes it very well. But let's say, for example, if we go on vacation or something, it's like men unconsciously get dopamine from achieving the goal, and then instantly you want to set a new goal to achieve it, And so as soon as, like for example, a good example is like, we got in Dubai, yeah? So like, you would imagine like this was the goal at some point, and then when we got here, the next goal was, okay, let's look for some angles for a cool podcast. And then after that, we went and did the podcast. And then there's always a new goal, whereas I would say woman is a lot more like present and in the moment of like, they don't really want to do bullshit, like or like the podcast or whatever. Like,
which is not wrong, right?
It's
fine.
Different. No, that's
different.
Part of the game. That's why I love my girlfriend so much, is because she keeps me present. We just spoke about how important it is to be present, but there's different roles, obviously, and I think, obviously, we as men, we need to burden responsibility so that our partners can be present.
Exactly.
That's where the issue comes, right? When a man is just like present all the time, and now the woman needs to stand up.
Someone needs to burden responsibility for someone to be present.
There needs to be a leadership there needs to be a leader all the time.
I mean, if you're about that masculine woman, fair game, That just, I think naturally, in any case, it's rather not.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
No, we're good. Look how beautiful this place is, right?
We're talking about traveling the world, and now we're like social dynamics.
But I mean, that's the nature of just
life.
Just speaking and just talking about what comes up to me. What is this bird? You hear that bird?
Yeah, he's filling up there.
What's one thing?
Ricardo's raking Ricardo up.
Yeah, one thing about being in Dubai, we've only been like 2 days now. I realized that a lack of nature is terrible. So like, even if you be like, here's some villas here with some trees and stuff, dude, it just looks like an oasis. It's so beautiful. Then you go to a place where there's like no trees and you can just feel like fucking the heat and stuff. And so this bird is actually quite sick right now. It's actually cool to experience that. But yeah, okay. And anyways.
And also the water is like extremely hot. It's like when you swim here, it's like a jacuzzi.
Yeah.
It's extremely warm.
We just went for a run this morning, so we just went for a run. Swim.
Yeah,
We saved a turtle.
Yeah.
Oof, that was a good.
We had quite an adventurous morning actually.
Yeah.
We went for a jog, we went for a swim, we saved a turtle and a crab.
Yeah,
Nah,
like when we looked at the
just
crab, we were
pulled
like,
his leg off, basically.
when we looked at the crab, we were like, nah, the turtle, we'll save the turtle, but yeah, we had to save the crab as well. So,
And then we came to a very, very cool conclusion. What is that, like as aesthetic to it, or what did you say?
Yeah. So that's a pretty good point actually, and we talked about this inside as well. Like pretty people convert better. 100%.
Oh, I think I
100%.
agree.
100%.
I think I said that yesterday,
It's
right?
like,
We said
morals have, when you kill a butterfly, you're a villain, but when you kill a moth, you're a
Hero.
no, you're a hero. Yeah, so yeah, when you kill a butterfly, you're a villain, and when you kill a moth, you're a hero. So morals have aesthetic criteria. So the way you orient yourself and the things you do is based on aesthetic criteria, and that's like how things look. So perception is extremely important. How things look, how you perceive it. That's like 90%.
but also like how, because what is when are you good looking? There's certain metrics that I think are you can measure certain things that makes that, how do you say that, like how do you say that, like just you can see, for example, your jawline. That's an important thing that people look at. Symmetry, like all these things are just very important. The way your eyes are set, like the way your fucking forehead. You have a big forehead or something like.
Do you think it's more because I know Alex also talks about like charisma. He says, oh no, it's like the things you do. It's like you have to shake your hand this way and tilt your eye. Like, do you think it's that, or do you think it's the vibe?
Like
that is the
charisma. Do you think it's the vibe, or do you think it's the activities you do? With me, for example, I 100% think it's the vibe.
You can how do you say that? You can give the energy of charisma also through video material. I think also through videos. Look at Iman in his YouTube videos. Charisma, the way he presents himself, or other people. So I don't think it's like always in person. No. Although it matters a lot in person. Like it's an important thing.
No, I think it's very important to take care of yourself and to quote unquote life max. And every single domain of your life. Like even if you are naturally born ugly, okay, there's things you can do
to
be
ugly?
less ugly. That is also a good question.
Right?
When are you ugly? It's only by comparison. It's only when you have the duality, when you have very beautiful people, then you can. But like, what is beautiful? So but there's things that you can do.
Sebastian is a pretty beautiful guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No homo.
Yeah. But like, there's certain things like if you want to looks max, like all you need to do is really just start eating good quality food. That will increase your jawline. Like if you start eating steak, and stop eating like soya BS, like you will have a better jawline. Start eating hard foods like non-processed like BS, and then go and exercise. People with lower, bit more muscular, lower body fat percentage, like you're just gonna look so much better. You're gonna clear up your skin if you start eating healthy, and that is by extension gonna make you healthier, which is more attractive.
And the sun.
Health is attractive.
Sun as well, bro.
And sun maxing, bro. Like you
go from an 8.10 at a 9.10 only by having a good color, like being a little bit red or being a little bit brown. Like
a 7 out of 10 is instantly an 8.5 out of 10 with a good tan. Because
tan,
like even being in the sun and like salt water, like it's just healthy. You can just see the vibrance. Like it's
that's where it comes back to the charisma. Do you think it's the activities, or do you think it's the vibe behind something?
But what define activities
and define vibe?
No. Vibe makes sense for me, but activities.
But that's important.
Let me give an example. How do you? So when Alex says like, okay,
who's Alex?
Alex Ramosi.
Oh, yeah, I was like, Alex. Like, which Alex are you talking about?
Okay. Anyway, so when he says, "Oh, this guy's charismatic," and he's like, "No, like give me the things he does. Like, give me the things what does he do?
It's
then he
the
says,
energy you give off, so the vibe.
So you think it's vibe,
I
and
think
not
it
the
is.
activities.
Like, but
But like-
what activities? Like driving Lambos? Is that
No, charisma, like
charismatic?
how someone speaks and how they enter the room and like how they're able to persuade someone. That's charisma.
Yeah, but that's both. Then it's both because like the way you speak
But
helps
which
a
is
lot.
Which comes
It's
first?
with the vibe of the action. So you can shake someone's hand, but you can feel if he's being like, you know.
Yes.
It's like the thing.
Like if you
thing.
shake his hand, but you truly mean it. You fucking like you
Yeah, you
let
can
you
do the
focus.
same activity.
That is, but because the activity needs to carry an authentic
Energy,
vibe, an
energy.
essence of you are there.
Yeah.
It's authentic. If you're just doing the activity, it's not gonna work.
It's like a good example is like, someone just following the sales script and
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
actually being a salesperson.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
So it is
Yes.
the vibe.
yeah.
So Alex is wrong.
Fucking Alex Moldovas
Valdamos, this guy. This guy.
from Mosey.
So yeah, but
No, this happens quite a lot, and we just think what we're gonna say.
Bro, I gotta see where my fruit is. I'm fucked.
Yeah. Quick food break. Nick is doing some fruit maxing, and we actually thought of a good question to ask him since
Vitamin C.
he's been. And I don't know, I've actually been traveling quite a lot this year as well. How many countries have we been to now?
So
Greece was the first one.
was Greece the first one?
Yeah,
Wow,
I think so.
That's
Yeah.
like a crazy first one actually.
That is actually good.
And then Thailand,
Bali.
and now Dubai.
Yeah, in Dubai. And before this, like never before with yeah.
Yeah.
And so Nick has been traveling like for the past 2 years, and we briefly spoke about that and how much he recommends that. So I actually want to ask you, Nick, what do you think? When should people start traveling? Do you think it's important to travel? Why do you think it's important to travel? What have you learned?
So in my opinion, traveling is necessary. I'll tell you why. So you get into a new environment, you get you get aware about multiple things, multiple opportunities, different types of people. You meet new people, new interactions. Everything is new, and when something is new, it's always refreshing and better because like what we talked about, more opportunity.
Exciting.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very important, first of all. Then second thing, people always say, okay, when I make some money, I go traveling. I start to travel. When I'm at 10K a month, oh yeah, then I'll go to Bali. Then I'll get that like milkshake and fucking coconut in Bali. So, in my opinion, the only reason why I got to 10K is because I started traveling before I made 10K. Because you're basically reversing the system of how it normally works. You're putting yourself in a situation that you're putting yourself like it's a perspective of putting yourself in a situation where you want to be. So based on these actions, you will receive the thing that you want, and that is 10K.
That is such a deep topic, actually.
And also, yeah.
Because that comes to your reality transfer thing. And
Where's the balance on that though? Like, should I buy a Lambo now?
with
where's
only 1 month's worth of
It depends on the
payment.
situation that you're in. Like if you have never traveled the world, going extreme, like
think you should
going on a
ease into
solo trip to Bali can be extreme, can be so controversial compared to your normal life. If you're in school and you're living in South Africa, and you're not, you're basically just, you're just chilling and not doing anything. Then it's a big, like, how do you say that? Switch jump to make towards, going on your first trip. So you should look at your situation and make the best decision in your situation.
And I think deep down you can feel that.
Of course.
I'm not gonna buy a Lambo now.
Nah.
Even though I maybe can. It's not reasonable. Like you should do things that you like. Maybe like that's the thing you should go and do. Like I can maybe do that. It'll be a bit of a push. Like that. That's the thing. It's not like something crazy. That I think that's where the balance comes in.
You know what is crazy? Almost like a lot of what happened, like we met Nick at a networking dinner in Cape Town in January. Like how crazy is that? Like, but with one networking event, and like I also thought like, but when I went there, I'm like, yo, like really, you must go to like, what is this?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like,
I had the exact
what
same.
is this
I had the
networking
exact
thing?
same.
Like, is there even value in this stuff? Like, and literally the day after that, I went and worked with Serge and Jordan Platt for a week.
Platten.
Platten, I always say Platt, bruh. Platten. And I worked with them for a week and I made more money in that entire week than what I made in 7-8 months working at my previous job. Like in a week. And I was like, this is it, bro. This is everything, And that all came down from networking and putting yourself once again in a curated environment, curating your inputs that reinforces the ideal version of yourself. That's why we are all willing to come to a client retreat like this, is to be surrounded by people that we want to be like, you know? Because then it's almost as if unconsciously you just get new thoughts from these
So I mean, new
people.
opportunity,
Yeah,
refreshing.
and it becomes your reality, because now you see, wow, this 19-year-old dude from America is making bank, like he's 4 years younger than me, like why can't I do that, you know? And then you start like rewiring your brain to a point where you just need it, like I previously said, if you just believe it's possible, you can do it. But it's difficult if your immediate environment, your friends, your family, no one understands what you are doing or wanting to do, and everyone think you are crazy when you tell them what you want to do, and that is reinforcing limiting beliefs, and you don't want that. So put yourself in an environment where people are all who you want to be, and then that will reinforce the ideal version of yourself.
But like that's difficult to do in practice. Very difficult.
Well,
Because,
that's
like,
why I
you
think...
can't, you know, just join a networking event with zero skills and value.
No,
you know?
no, that is true. That is true.
So how does someone do that? I think, to answer my own question, it's like you can just form like a delusion. I think that's the best way to go about it. It's like I just did like the
To answer
alchemy
my
of
own
self
question.
stuff.
To answer my own question. No, it's legendary. That's
I asked it and I was
funny,
like,
sorry.
okay, I actually know the answer. Because like I went through that, and it's just to form your own delusion, and just it is like egotistical self-confidence. Like you just have, that's a skill, and you just have to do that.
But like it's also a different skill, right? Like
Yeah.
networking with people. I know people where, like I know some people that got into crazy networking connections. They didn't have any skills themselves, but their skill was networking with people, not business skills. So
Yeah.
we always perceive it from a perspective, oh, we have business dinners and we go with people that make over 50K a month, otherwise you're not invited. But networking guys that can network well, can socialize
valuable.
well, are good interacting and communicating with other people.
Yeah.
That's a skill, and that's the reason why you got there.
Yeah.
So you can leverage that to build up your business skills. You know, so I think like you can get from one single skill to learn another skill. You need to leverage your power. Everybody need to leverage the thing that they're good at doing, and I think that makes every single individual so valuable, because everybody is good at something.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think also to add on to Andro's question, and to answer that, is I also think it's very valuable, and that is also one of the main pillars while we are starting our community, is online communities is also a form of curating your immediate environment. Because, and reading books, I guess, is also that. Like if you're also just surrounding yourself with, like my mentors wasn't necessarily physical mentors I paid for. Like my mentors was Marcus Aurelius and all of the, rich, like Robert Kawasaki and all these guys. Like the books that I was reading was, playing a bit like that. Those were my mentors, and those were the people I was surrounding myself with. And that's why communities online is also very important. Like Andro and I both went through Agency Navigator as well. Okay, I don't think that was as valuable, but there was community attached to that, and that was valuable. Because then you see it's possible. You see this oak that joined it with you a month ago making 5K, and you're like, what? Like he did it? Like he started from nowhere, just like I did. And so that relatability is also very important. And also a good question is, how do you get into networking events? Like let's say, for example, you want to go to this networking event, but like Andro said, like you don't have any value.
Yeah, fair. So the most
You don't have any value,
like
zero.
Like starting out is the hardest though.
Yeah.
Like when you have found one good person that can connect and is good at socializing, it'll compound and duplicate so fast.
Yeah.
You need to just find one person that has access to a bigger network, and you're there. You'll be good forever, and you'll compound it, and you'll have access to everybody in a year. But like finding that first person is probably the most difficult thing. And I think whenever you want to surround yourself with the right people, joining a community, joining a one-on-one, getting access to a mentor is very valuable, because whenever that person has a valuable, have access to like a valuable situation with valuable people, it is access to get your foot into the door. So you can create more opportunity, right? With networking is opportunity and opportunity. It's like you go to an opportunity, you have more opportunities. You go to somebody else from these opportunities, and that is how I see networking a lot.
It's like a spider web.
It's like a spider web. It's like duplicating cells, Like it's yeah.
Because you literally don't know what can come from that. Like it
You have
might
no
take
idea
2, 3, 4 months, but like if you are known by those people to be good at something and it's valuable, like that is extremely good, Because if you go to a dinner and you are known as this, I don't know, what's a good example? Let's say if you go to dinner, you know this biohacking health guy. Like if anyone else in that dinner wants someone like that, they're probably going to go to you if you have the most authority. That's why I think personal brand is so important.
Absolutely.
It's because what is social media? It's a place where you can curate a specific like sense of authority in your niche.
Yes.
You know, it's because you can let people. You are curating what people are seeing of yourself, and so that's where perception comes in. But yeah, I think personal brand is so important. You know, like you're so big on personal brand.
Yeah, personal brand is everything. Like the personal brand is the reason why people can look at what you do. People can like just look at who you are and see if they vibe with you and interact with you based on the content that you create. And that can be anything nowadays. You can create content about anything you want.
I know there's a school community on, I think it's
Crazy
like goat
stuff.
training.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Making 10K a month.
Goats training.
Yeah,
Goats training. Like training goats. Making 10K a month. Like you can escape competition through, you know, authenticity.
That is crazy. Go
that's-
train.
Yo,
Yeah.
you need a yo louder for the people to back, but
No,
just repeat that for
There's
a second.
there's Naval that said that.
Yo.
Escape competition through authenticity. That's
Yeah,
how
that's
you do
good.
it. There is no competition if there's literally just one of you, and that's how you stand out. Is through your personal brand. It's your way of communicating. Like no one can compete with you.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
It's
It's same with people as ask me like, yo Nick, listen, I'm doing the exact same thing you do, but it's not working for me. I'm saying that's exactly not a personal brand because a personal brand is always personal. So people cannot replicate it, right? Like people understand. Okay, it's a business model and you copy that, but a personal brand is something you can't copy because then it's not authentic and then it's not you.
Yeah.
So that is why personal branding is valuable, is because it's unique, and the less there is of something, the more valuable it is. So it's just who you are, you know? Instead of presenting a specific business model or a specific, you know? People can copy that, but they cannot copy you because they are not you. Simple.
Yeah, that's
and
very
if you're
good.
not posting content online, like you will literally just fall behind. You'll be broke. Like they just put out.
Yeah.
That's just how it
You're
is.
just broke.
Yeah, you'll just be completely broke. No, but like that's how the world is. Like if you don't have
Nah.
online presence,
Yeah.
it's game over. So if
Yeah.
you're sitting there and you want to be rich, like if you want to, if you don't want to, like I don't know what's wrong with you.
I think with personal branding, you won't be broke. You will make money, but you will always be dependent on a source. So for example, doing outreach, you need to do outreach. If you don't do outreach, you won't make money. With a personal brand, I cannot make content for a week and I will still make money. Because it's compounding. You build an audience of like people, of followers, of juniors, you know, like mini people that follow you, that fucking like you, yeah, that like you, and they can follow you because of who you are, and that's awesome, and that's compounding instead of doing direct activities like outreach whenever you want to get clients or whenever you know what I mean, right?
That is just leveraging one of the most primal instincts of human nature, and that is community. It's because everyone just wants to feel like relatable and like they want to fit in and whatever. You're part of something, and and that's why authenticity is so important. Like if you take someone like, for example, Solbra. Now I don't know if you even know this guy, but he's like a very very niche, but he's extremely personalized and authentic with his approach to like health, and he's not. I wouldn't say he's very. How should I say? Like, not a lot of people can relate to him, but the people that do are like fucking like obsessed with this guy because he's like so out of there that other people are like him have never felt, you know, community before, and because he is that thing for them, they will buy anything from him. He can sell merch, a course, info, coaching, anything, and they will purchase it. But it's even deeper than that. If you can actually really like go deep on it, like there's so much purpose in trying to start and lift up a community of like-minded people and helping that grow. There's so much, because like on the end of the day, like you were that person, you know. That's why it's so cool to start this community, because it's my younger self that I'm teaching to. And I know how much value there is in someone teaching me that. You know, because that guy basically saved my life. Who teach me how to escape the matrix.
That makes an offer so valuable, right? Like what I'm basically doing is I'm basically learning other people, all the experience that I've gained for me to get to the situation where I am. And I hold them in the fastest way possible, and I hold them accountable. We optimize for speed. We make sure that, you know, we communicate well for them to get to the same situation. And that is why I got here. And if people want to get to our, you know, situation, they should listen to us, and otherwise, fuck off. Otherwise,
the only question on your mind should be: do you want to achieve the goal in 3 years or 3 months?
Yeah,
like that's all. Like
speed, money-driven decisions.
You're always gonna pay with something.
What do you tell Sebastian on the sales course? Like, you can do it on your own, but like.
Yeah, it's like when I was on the sales call, I was like, I can 100% achieve this on my own, like zero doubt. And that was me with zero skills, nothing. I was like, obviously, 100k a month's easy, bro. But like, I just want to do it faster. That's all. I just want to do it quicker. And just learning from mistakes of others.
Yeah. You pay money to save time. That's all it is. You know, because we already went through that with time. So now, give me your money and we give you back your time.
Money is unlimited. Money is a limited time now.
Time's out.
It's that's the thing. I said you always pay with something. It's either time or money, right? And you pay with the one you value least, right?
Yeah.
And the most valuable one is time because it's finite, and money is infinite.
Like, I think the most valuable one depends on the situation that you're in.
Explain that.
People that have no money and have a lot of time, the most valuable source to use is time. And you get to a certain point where you realize that money is more valuable. So the best decision to make is to leverage your money instead of your time.
Yeah, I think it's that's well said.
So like, it's not money. Like, ultimately, time is more valuable in general, right? Because like it's scarce. Like it's you don't have enough of it. Like it's not. Money is infinite, but it's in the situation that you're in. I feel if you're starting out, you can leverage your money, but if you don't have money, then what are you gonna do? And if you have a lot of time, you're just gonna sit there and do nothing. Then like, what is gonna happen, right? So it's the situation that you're in, I think.
Yeah.
So when you make some money, you should just spend it on, because like you're not gonna save your way to $1 million with like $1,000.
No.
Right? Like, that's what people want. Like they save, like they make like 1,000 and they save it like I'm gonna
invest in Ethereum.
Like S&P 500 40 years.
That's so retarded. When you have under 20k in your bank account and you invest in crypto, you're a retard.
Yo, I used to do that, bro. I was in Dogecoin back in the day, dude. Like 2020. Yes, I made good money. Then I lost like 70% of that in a week.
Yeah.
Because I thought like I was a crypto trader, but I was actually just riding the bull train in 2020, and so like
everyone made money.
You just couldn't lose money. And then like as soon as that first dip came, like I lost 70%, and I was like, yo. Like, but that was just before. I was still in Forex back then, and I was like, nah, that. I got some PTSD from that. Yeah.
I have to say, I made the decision to I had 10k in my bank account, put 9k into crypto.
Yeah.
I told them my story video, right? Like,
when was this?
This was before I started out, and this is probably one of the most valuable things I did, because I put 9k into crypto. There's a no financial disclaimer. So like I put 9k into crypto. And I lost it all within 48 hours. And at that point, I realized I needed to work a little bit under a year, around 11 months, to make 9,000 euros back. So I was like, but that was the best thing that could ever happen, because exactly 2 weeks later, I stopped working at my normal job and I went all into business, and I made it work from that point. So it was the best thing that could ever happen to me, because if that thing wouldn't happen, I still believe that I would have gotten here. But not at that time. Maybe it would take me another year.
So just to wrap things up, I think the last question, like how long did it take you to make like your first 10k a month?
And from what point do you define start?
I would
define the word start.
I would say when you start doing like outreach, probably.
Okay, so actually work. 30 days.
30 days.
30 days.
Took me like 30 days.
I hit my first 10k a month in my first month.
Yeah, me too.
so 30 days.
And let's say, just to add like, and let's say when you actually started like building your business plan, like your business
plan.
Like you started fucking like going through the course and stuff.
Like we went through the course. I never really went through a course, but like watch motivational reels and like watch like Iman Gatsi, that stuff. Maybe a half year before, without taking any action.
Motivational Iman Gatsi reels,
right?
I can understand.
Also like 6 months.
Yeah. All right, well, I think it was a good conversation. I think it's about, 45 minutes or so. And just appreciating the view. I hope you guys appreciate the view as well. What's his best name again?
The Atlantis Royale.
Atlantis Royale. Look how
Atlantis
beautiful that
Royale.
is. But,
Royale.
yo, Nick, thanks so much for hopping on the pod.
Absolutely,
what a
brothers.
pleasure
It was
to have a convo
amazing.
with you.
It was amazing.
And,
Absolutely.
yeah, stay tuned for this episode. We're going to drop in the middle of October. And yeah, if you guys haven't yet, have a look at our school community and also our 2 free ebooks that you guys can find down in the description below. And yeah, we'll check you guys soon. Cheers. All right, cheers. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Cool. Is that ending fine? Like, did I fuck it up?